Hello guys, welcome back. It's been a long time. Stuff's been going on. We've been doing a lot of stuff for the business, building another electric BMW, and we had the cylinders sent off to be machined, as we found out that the cylinders turned oval due to the heat of the engine being in a fire, and we got some Nippon Racing pistons, a new set of 4 oversized, about 0.5. We got them from A4H Tech here locally. So everything's now nice and honed and everything, and has no scratches and nothing, and no dimples and no stuff that looks weird and funky. And it took some time till we got it back. So in the meantime, we went on holiday as well. So yeah. So what we're gonna do today is go and check every orifices on the engine and hopefully get the crank in there today, and maybe even already the cylinders as well, and get it back on the engine stand to build up the rest of the engine. It should be doable. Got a couple of hours today to spend, and yeah, so let's get to it. Oh yeah, the reason why we need to check all the orifices is because it was wet blasted, so there might still be some glass grid or something inside oil canals, and want everything out 100% clean. This has been an ultrasonic cleaner, but I'm just gonna blow everything through with air. If anything comes out, we'll power wash it again, and we'll see if we can get everything out. Same counts for the bottom torque plate, whatever you want to call it. It's the crank plate, something like that. Oil pan, cylinder head, we already did that. So we've got all the main components almost already done. I've checked all the torque specs for bolts, so I know them already. Gonna write them down on the piece of cardboard, put a piece of cardboard underneath your cylinder so it won't damage. And yeah, so let's get to it and start cleaning some stuff and checking it out. So one of the things that I learned, it's a cool, neat little simple trick, and I'm gonna do it now because I've got all the parts easy access. So use a rubber abrasive wheel, which does nothing but polish aluminium, and get the fine one, the soft one. So it will not take away any material, but since this is rubber and this is silicon, you can easily remove old silicon, basically, or old gaskets. So it's very easy if my compressor is on. So now we've got some parts cleaned. We've got the crankcase here. First need to put in these little cylinder wall oilers. All those parts. I watched a video of on Real Street on YouTube going through rebuilding an engine step by step. So I'm basically gonna repeat the process with the manual and with my torque specs there. I'm gonna reuse the old bolts. You need to loop them up in a certain way, so you need to torque them correctly. Got new seals, gaskets, everything. Got the OEM silicone that we're gonna use. As they say, there is no way that this engine should leak at all. So there's no excuse for it leaking. So that's what we're gonna try to achieve as well. And got our dowels in everywhere, so it should be all fine. And we're gonna actually start doing some assembly right now, which is gonna be tedious, but we take our time to double check everything and do it correctly. We have the main bearing plate bolted down, get a good seal. You can check it all around on the outside, but it's better actually to check it on the inside. If you can see it on the inside edges, it's very good visible. It's not so easy to get in focus. Nevertheless, you can see black goo all around on the inside of the main bearing cap, and of course we need to check if it still turns. That's all good. So this is all in there as it should be, and it's all still nice and clean. So now we can bolt it back up to the engine stand and do the rest. So let's go and assemble some pistons, some new ones, and put those in and everything, and we'll see how far we will get today. So now we've got all 4 pistons ready to put in. Of course we need to remove the caps, clean this up a little bit more, and then lube it and put it in there. So we're gonna clean the cylinder walls, and we're gonna drop in number 2 and number 3 first, twist the crank, number 1 and number 4. So we've already put 2 cylinders in, or 2 cylinders, 2 pistons. Which is a little bit of a pain in the ass. That's why I forgot to film. But now I think I've got the hang of it. So gonna see if I can do one real quick. The end cap off. You should not mix and match parts on connector rods or bearings or anything in the engine, as stuff will break if you, or it will seize up, or it will not move anymore. And if you do mix up stuff, I've heard this a lot, because it's easy to mix it up. Your best hope is that everything will be stuck together and you have to take it apart, because otherwise it will probably seize up the moment you move it, or when you put heat into it and something expands, and then you've got a big problem and the engine will die basically, and you have to start all over. I do actually have the proper tool for this, but for some reason that tool is not very happy using it in this engine, so I'm carefully putting all the rings in the correct position and applying light pressure. So that's it for today. We put the short block, so to say, back together, put the pistons in there, which I didn't plan on doing today, but I managed to find the time to do so. Next time I'm probably gonna put on the head and put on the timing chain and timing cover and the valves, and hopefully finish up the engine, so we can start with doing more fun stuff again, and seeing what we're missing and seeing what we need to modify to make it fit inside the car. The car's still there. We drove it around for a couple of times now. As is with the rear brakes, if you slam the brakes, they lock up, so which is quite fun but dangerous. Nevertheless, we will be able to start soon with at least figuring out what we're gonna do for the cradle to put the new engine inside the car, and suspension and everything all together up front. So yeah, for now, I'm super happy and I can't wait to put this into that.